Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award-winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to this week's episode of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors, co-founder of the She Angels Foundation, and producer of Show Her the Money movie. We're so happy to have you with us today. And in fact, I'm super excited to have on an undergrad at Harvard. She is the incredible founder of Girls into VC. Let's welcome to the show, Isabella Mandis. Hi, Isabella. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
I've been so excited to have you on because you're such a trailblazer at your age. And, I really am so excited about getting more young women into venture capital, and you are doing that. You are like the leader in this arena, having started at Harvard, Girls into VC. And it is dedicated to empowering the next generation of women, of females, to be venture capitalists. I love it. I love you and I love it. I'm so happy we got to meet at one of our movie screenings in Boston. And I just love the work you're doing. So let's talk about why you started this group and how do people join and what does the group do?
Yeah, so I like to start pretty early because I think when I share people what I'm doing, always the first question is, how old are you? And when I share I'm in college, always the first question is, well, how did you even hear about venture capital? It's not something that people typically hear about when they're even in college, let alone before that. And so I was always really interested in technology, knew that was what I wanted to do. In second grade, I told people I was going to be the CEO of Apple. So literally started very young with my interest in technology. I was obsessed with Steve Jobs. And so I always knew I wanted to work in that. Started in programming like Girls Who Code and other programs like that. Begged my parents to teach me, to put me into after school, like coding classes and all of that. And so kind of started in that tech phase early on. And then I had a friend and mentor of mine who is a student at Stanford, and she was a part of the Dorm Room Fund, which is a fund that students invest in other students building companies. And she would talk to me about all the companies that were being built at Stanford at the time. And this was, like 10 years ago now. So, they were building, still are, but at that time it was like everyone was building a really cool company. And so I loved learning about that from her. She would introduce me to people and I would reach out to other cool founders that I admired and help them on projects or anything like that. And so then I started to realize that what venture capital was and the idea that you could support all of these founders and specifically female founders was something that I was really aligned with. And so that was kind of my start. And then when I got to Harvard freshman year, started going to all the venture capital organizations. And firstly, there weren't that many, which I thought was already a problem. And then when I went to them, I was always the only girl in the room. And obviously another problem. And so started Girls into VC out of that and just wanted to build a community. And now we've grown to over 5,000 members in around a year and a half, which has been incredible. And we do things like content, like podcasts, newsletters, blog posts, but then also more hands-on programming. So we have like a 10-week fellowship program, intro to VC, guest speakers every week, externships where we partner our members with female founders to work on projects. We had a conference last year and planning one this fall again. So lots of different things that we've been working on, which has been really exciting.
Can I just say you are effing incredible?
Thank you.
We need more women like you, especially at your age. Just amazing. Did you, when you started this, did you ever dream it would be this big, did you see that vision of it being? Yeah.
I knew that there would be something there just because nothing existed in that. And before I officially started as an organization, I had just a group of people on my notes app that I would meet at random events, the one girl in the room, and we would text each other and they would say, I wish there were other girls, and I would introduce them to people. So I knew there was kind of something there. And then the day that I founded Girls into VC was the night before my math exam, and I was extremely procrastinating and did not want to go to bed. And I made the website in like 2 minutes, got the domain, horrible website. Still, our website is not very good. I feel like I've been more focused on what we're doing and less on the website, so I need to fix that. But I just had an interest form on it with a place to put your email, and we posted on LinkedIn. And about like the next morning I woke up, I checked it after my exam, and we had so many views on the post, and so many people were interested, and women in the field were reaching out saying, this is so important. How can I help? And so I think I realized early on that it was something I absolutely did not expect, but it's been a whirlwind and a great experience.
Wow. And so 5,000 members already, and these are at different schools other than just yours, right?
Yeah. So we're in over 60 countries now. So really all over the world.
Wow. Yeah, you really hit on something there. Same with our movie, Show Her the Money. You know, we've hit on something there because women are like, what do you mean we're only getting 2% of venture capital? And by the way, what is venture capital? And why are we only getting 2% of it? And
they like are upset that it's 2% before they even know what it is.
Exactly. And then when they find out what it is and how important it is to what future products and services are going to exist, they're like, oh my God, we have to be a part of this decision-making process. Where do we sign up? How do we learn about it? And that's really what our podcast is about, learning about all these different resources out there about how can you learn about venture capital. Our movie is one of them. Your group is one of them. There's podcasts out there. There's books out there. You know, on our website, showherthemoneymovie.com, we have a resources page. We want people to be able to access all of the resources out there to learn about the exciting world of venture capital. And that's what I try to impose on our listeners every week, is that this is a very exciting arena. Like you said, you know, you step into it and you go, oh my God, there's so many brilliant women out there with so many incredible ideas. Why aren't we funding them? And wow, I could be someone that funds this and makes money while also making a tremendous impact in the world. What could be more exciting than that, really? And so I love that you're helping people learn about it at a young age. When we have screened at some of the universities, they have said to us, you know, we want to use your film to show our students about venture capital because not many colleges and universities, even the ones with entrepreneur programs or business schools, have a whole lot about venture capital. And we're thinking it's so important for young women and men, but we're really focused on women, to learn about venture capital at a younger age. And so we've created a whole college curriculum that goes with our film now that in 2025 we're going to be distributing to colleges and universities and schools around the country to do exactly what you're doing, which is helping to educate people at a very young age, something I wish somebody had done for us in our generation. But you know, it hasn't even been until the last decade, really, that women have even been stepping into the venture capital arena. But I think we're going to see a big wave of it. And it's going to be things like your program, Girls into VC, our film, Show Her the Money, and the fact that there are more women-founded funds than ever in history. And so all of this is building up a momentum to have more women involved in venture capital, would you say?
Yes, definitely. Absolutely. And also on resources, we just shared our fellowship follows a curriculum that we wrote that's like 200 pages, Intro to VC, what is it, how to break in. And so now that's available online on our website too, under resources. So similar in terms of what we're doing. So I always recommend that because I get a lot of girls that reach out to me saying, what is it? How do I break into it? Tell me more. And so I kind of put down all of our ideas and our guest speakers and everything into that.
I love that. And the website is girlsintovc, is it .com?
Yeah, .com, exactly.
Yeah, girlsintovc.com for any young woman in college that wants to learn more about this. Probably you even have some, I would imagine, from high schools?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
go all the way from we've had a couple middle schoolers, which is crazy, but predominantly college, but all the way through high school, through people that are working and looking to pivot careers.
Now, I just want to mention, to give you even more credibility than you have already going to Harvard and starting this, that in high school you did some research about creating an algorithm to reduce gender and racial bias. It was published, a story about that. You also were a Kleiner Perkins Fellow, which is a very prestigious venture capital company that has a fellowship program that helps you start working inside innovative startups. And then on top of that, you are now currently a venture scout for Alumni Ventures. So tell us about that. What does a scout do?
Yeah, so at Alumni Ventures, I love the team. Alumni Ventures, for anyone who doesn't know, is a venture capital firm. They do the biggest deal flow of investments in companies, which I think is really cool in fast-paced world. Venture capital can either be really fast-paced or really slow-paced. And so I like the idea of going fast and investing in as many companies as possible. And so they have sub-organizations for different schools across the country, and then also for certain groups. So, for example, I'm part of Harvard's fund, which is called Yard Ventures, and also the Women's Fund. And so getting to go out, any cool startups that I find and I forward to them, and we kind of sit on a call, go through the company, what do we like, what do we not like, and then can proceed and actually invest in the company, which has been really amazing opportunity.
That is an amazing opportunity. And you know what? I think they're so smart to have someone young on the team. This is something we talk about in the film with Pocket Sun and her SoGal Ventures. Mm-hmm. She has a leg up on, what young women even want in their products and services. Like, how would some old white guy know what some young woman wants? We should be talking to people your age about what products and services that you want and need. So that's great they have you on their team. I'm sure they see the asset in doing that. So Alumni Ventures is a venture fund, and you could probably join it through your alumni at your college or school. People could look into that, or your university, I meant to say. I know I'm from University of Florida, broadcast journalism, and we are part of that Alumni Ventures, I believe. I've gotten some requests to invest in some of their deals. So people could look at that and see if their alumni program at their school is involved in Alumni Ventures to be a part of that. And so, wow, what an incredible opportunity at your age to be able to be working in that space.
Yes, it's been really great, and the team is amazing that I work under, and so it's been great. I feel like I learned so much from even just their short responses on email when I send over a deal and kind of how they're thinking about it. I'm a big supporter of being in a room with people smarter than you and just soaking up the information and thinking about, you learn so much from listening to how other people think. And so just getting that experience has been really valuable.
And then I think I read something about you were involved in helping to pick a seed company that became a unicorn. Is that right?
No, I wish. That would be crazy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's your goal. Okay.
One day, that is the goal.
That is the goal. And for those that don't know what that means, a unicorn would probably be like $1 billion privately owned company. And, every venture firm wants to be able to pick one of those. If anybody could pick it, I'm sure it's you, Isabella.
Thank you. I have my eye on a couple that I think are going to be, but time will tell.
I love that. Okay, we'll talk off camera. So what's the next step for you? You're in what year of university, and what are your plans when you graduate?
I'm a rising junior, so I have 2 more years left of college, halfway done. Next summer, I'm going to be at Bessemer Venture Partners, which is a venture capital firm. I'm very, very excited for that. And hopefully we'll have the opportunity to return full time and work there after I graduate. So fingers crossed for that. But yeah, I'm just really excited. Girls into VC has grown so much in the past year and a half that what's going to happen in 2 years, I have absolutely no idea. We're right now launching on a bunch of different chapters this fall, schools across the country. We're planning our next summit, which is going to happen in November in Boston. And so lots of exciting things we've been working on and have a really good team together. And so excited to see what we come up with.
Well, I'm excited to see too. And I have a feeling you're going to not only probably double, but probably triple or quadruple the number of women involved in that. Especially, I hope, as we roll out our program to educate women about venture capital in the colleges and universities. In fact, as I'm saying that, I'm realizing we need to team up with that and do
exactly.
that together.
I can follow up with an email.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, the reason that we need to raise awareness about this is venture capital firms tend to have in the single digits women on their team. And usually it's in the lower positions. And it's really because women didn't even know that it was a career path. So what we hope to bring, and I know you do too, and that's our message that aligns, is that we want women at a young age to understand that this is a possible career path, venture capital, an investment path, and a funding path for entrepreneurs wanting to grow into large companies. So we want to give women that leg up to know how to get into venture. And also, there are more women-founded funds than ever in history, which is super exciting. So that even gives women more opportunity to go work in those funds, which those funds tend to be investing in women, BIPOC, and LGBTQ, all of the overlooked communities. So super exciting arena for women at your age to step into and really have an incredible career and opportunity to learn about what are the future innovations, if not being an entrepreneur themselves, creating those innovations. So
definitely.
Thank you for
And I think what you mentioned too about not necessarily it being a career, but even just an investment opportunity. I know one woman who I've become really close with, where she ended up living with her family for a couple extra months and then used that money that she would have spent on rent and actually put that towards angel investing, which is another opportunity that just shows like it's very accessible. You can write pretty low checks to actually be an investor. And so there are definitely ways to get involved. I actually, through Alumni Ventures, typically there's a minimum for a lot of funds, but if you do angel checks, then you can get in much lower. But I was able to write my first investment into the fund, since as a scout, there's no minimum, which is very exciting. So now I feel pretty excited to be a natural investor of a fund.
I love that. And also, one thing I learned as I was taking the Show Her the Money movie on the road, I remember meeting a student. This was in, I believe, New Zealand. Maybe it was Australia. And she said to me, you know what? I'm too young to invest. I'm in college. She said, but my parents aren't too young to invest. So I'm going to talk to my mom and dad about how they should be investing in venture capital
Definitely.
and funding women and, other overlooked communities. What a great investment opportunity it is and how they could be making an impact in the world. And so I thought, this is a message too. You may not be that person, but you might have family or friends that are. And then let's not forget, with this largest transfer of wealth ever in history, there are young people that will be inheriting money. And so it is important that they know the exciting world of venture capital and how important it is. So, yeah, the more we get the message out there, the better. I feel like there's a big wave of this happening, and you're proof of that with the tremendous wave of membership that you've just gotten with Girls into VC. So, bravo for the work that you're doing. I want to send people to that website, girlsintovc.com. All of those women out there listening who are at universities all over the world, this is a great movement for you to join. And Isabella, thank you so much for the incredible work you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
I'm definitely cheering you on and can't wait to hear next. I want to have you back on in like a year and we'll talk about the progress and what you're doing, because I know it's going to be incredible.
Thank you.
So besides the website, can people find you on social media?
Yes, we're on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. Typically, LinkedIn is where we have the most traction, but we're on everything.
Okay, and should they reach out to you personally or just look for Girls into VC?
Yes, you can reach out to me. My email is isabella@girlsintovc.com. I also check my LinkedIn messages, so really anything, I'll get back to you.
Great. Well, everybody, that's Isabella Mandis. If you're just listening and not watching, it's Mandis, Isabella Mandis, and it is Girls Into VC. Of course, I'm on LinkedIn as well, Catherine Gray. You can find me, Gray with an A. And of course, Show Her the Money is our social media, and showherthemoneymovie.com, where we have resources to learn more about venture as well. And then lastly, please visit my website, sheangelinvestors.com. We have a course called 6 Ways to Fund Your Business, because there's many ways to get a startup off the ground, and you have to learn about all the different ways, and we make it so simple to understand. We are all here to enlighten women about starting companies, investing in companies, and learning about venture capital. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you, Isabella, for being a great guest.
Thank you.
Make it a great